We're joined today by Alex Gulino, author of Empire State of Decay. Alex, thanks for joining me.
Thanks for having me, Brian. Happy to be here.
So somebody picks up this book. What do they find in it? It's photos, but are there descriptions? Describe to me what the book is.
Well, in this book, I decided to describe more of my journey getting to these places. I wasn't sure what direction I wanted to go in, and I was telling someone the story, and I'm like, oh my God, and I slid down the hill, and then I fell over here, and I had to climb through this, and da, da, da. And they were like, there, that's your book.
Yeah, so it's almost like a travel adventure book in a way.
So I started this hobby maybe 3 years ago. It's called urban exploration. And basically it's visiting abandoned buildings wherever you can find them and documenting them through photographs.
So did you start doing this as a photographer, or did you start exploring places and take pictures? Like, how did that come about?
I saw some videos actually on YouTube of other explorers doing this, and I said, hey, that sounds really cool. And actually, I was just searching for cool things in New Jersey to see and stumbled upon this.
So this is interesting, right? So this comes out of you posting photos on social media, and then a publisher picks it up and says, hey, this is a book, let's go.
Yeah, that's exactly what happened. I was relatively new. I am still relatively new in this game. There's explorers out there that have been doing this 10 plus years. And I started about 3 years ago, started discovering these places, started going out and documenting them through photography, throwing up on my Instagram and other social channels. And Font Hill Media stumbled upon them, reached out to me and said, hey, you want to do a book on this?
So this is interesting. Give me a little sense of what kind of places are we talking about exploring?
There's obviously a great variety. I'm sure anybody that drives down any kind of road anywhere would notice an abandoned factory, old school, hospital, and hospitals are always our favorites. We love finding old wheelchairs. The crazy thing is we'll even find records back to the early 1900s. What was it, a couple weeks ago, I stumbled upon some records from the 1930s. Obviously, the HIPAA rules didn't exist yet.
Wow. Now, I got to ask the question, are some of these places that you shouldn't be in, that you have to sneak into, or?
Yeah.
How does that work? Because this is really interesting. Tell me about that.
You could say that. Generally, yeah, it requires a lot of research, to find out about where these places are. And then the other part is, how do you actually get in? Generally, I do try to get permission if I can in advance.
Of course you do.
Of course I do.
Because that's the right thing to do.
That's right, kids. That's what you should do at home. And so once I find out the information, I'll obviously go with a friend or two. That is the number one rule. I cannot stress it enough. Do not go alone.
And tell me why.
Well, for so many reasons. One of them is obviously the safety concern is, we don't know if there's somebody else in there, and maybe they're up to no good. So to protect you, A, from other people, B, generally these buildings are not structurally sound. You could fall through the floor, you could, rip your arm open on some rusty nails, whatever it is. The point is to have a couple others with you just to make sure you're safe. If you need some kind of medical attention, if you need to get out of the building quickly and need assistance, you have somebody there to help you out.
Wow. I wanted to touch on, there are places that people know, right, for UrbEx, right? So like the Eastern State Penitentiary, everyone's seen these pictures.
That's a great spot.
Yeah, the decayed place, and there are a lot of books featuring that. Are there particular favorites for you? And is it a style of place? I mean, what catches your eye for a place to go to?
I guess usually what's most exciting, churches are great. If you can find one, you can find a church with pews still in them. Because I've also found churches without the pews, not as exciting. And it's usually just because you just want to see the history of it. And it's almost like these places are frozen in time. So if you find like a hospital or a church or something like that where you can see the old equipment that was there or the old relics in churches, it's just fascinating to look at. And I love capturing that. It's like a moment in time.
So the book, Empire State of Decay, do you feature on mainly New York or the tri-state area?
Oh, that's a great question. I actually originally proposed the book to be part of New Jersey and New York, and I had a different title for it, and the publisher turned around to me and said, hey, how about this? We'll give you 2 books instead.
Whoa, hold on. And of course you said no to that. I don't want to. Yeah, that's great.
Of course.
So you've got other projects then in the pipeline.
I do. Now that Empire State of Decay is finally out, which obviously I'm incredibly excited about, we have another book coming out. Should be out in the summer of next year. Obviously, everything's been a bit delayed, and that one will be focused on New Jersey.
Now, are there other states or areas that you may venture into? How large can this get?
Oh, I probably could do them one for every state if I really wanted to. Actually, the publisher is looking to focus on very specific areas right now, and then we actually got into a discussion about a whole new book series he wants to do anyway that it doesn't even have to do with abandoned stuff. It's about documenting specific towns and their histories and what makes them unique and all that good stuff.
Wow. Well, we love doing some of that here at TAPintoTV. It's fascinating. There's history all around us and right in front of our eyes. And
absolutely.
It's really fascinating that you're taking us visually into the past, but through a present window. And that's a really interesting thing. We wish you the best with the book. And Empire State of Decay. Alex Gulino, thanks for joining us.
Thank you so much for having me.